What's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a story that is troubling, man. I'm talking about when you talk about like the most horrific stuff you're going to see on social media, this is probably up there with one of the worst videos that you could ever see. Somebody actually losing their life on social media, man. And it's going viral right now. And there's a whole bunch of different stories, a bunch of different situations that are involved in this. And to be honest, I've been watching this situation play out for probably about 3 weeks now. Ever since Nipsey Hussle's memorial, or I should say his memorial, man. The picture of him outside the shop was defaced. Like, I've been watching on the back end and seeing how this thing would play out, and I never wanted to do a video about it. I was just appalled at the fact that somebody would have such disrespect for Nipsey Hussle, right? Because Nipsey Hussle is one of those cats that I always listen to. Like, I wasn't bandwagon. It didn't happen like I started listening to him after he had passed away. It was like I was already tuned in. You feel me? Now, Nipsey Hussle's memorial was defaced. And man, a lot of things have happened streetwise since then. And it's been well publicized because it's been on social media, man. And it's sad to say the least. Now, a young rapper by the name of Indian Boy Red lost his life in this situation, and they're saying it's connected. Now, we can't say it's connected officially, but I'm going to be going off of a couple of reports that are out there, and it seems like they did all the groundwork, so let's get to it. Now, with that, before I get into the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this whole Indian Boy Red situation, man. Now, there's several stories out there and several news reports that are floating around. But Heavy.com, or the Heavy you want to call it, they just did a report that I want to reference in this story, man, because it keeps things into perspective. Because when it comes to situations like this, it's easy for things to get out of perspective, for things to get into who's responsible for this, who's responsible for that. But man, I want to give you the specifics. So the story starts off by saying this. It says, Indian Red Boy, rapper shot on Instagram Live video, reports say. Now, the story starts off by saying this. It says, Indian Red Boy was a California rapper who was shot and killed on Instagram Live video, according to Hip Hop Lately. According to Hip Hop Lately, Indian Red Boy, real name Zarel Dejan Riviera, of Inglewood, California, was shot and killed while sitting in a car streaming an Instagram Live video on Thursday, July 8th, 2021. Stop right there. Now, I saw the news about this or whatever, and I knew about the situation or whatever, and I was apprehensive about talking about it because I do news about rap, you know what I mean? About rappers and stuff like that. And at first, I wasn't familiar with Indian Red Boy and his music, you know what I mean? I wasn't sure about, him being an actual rapper because I'd hate to be in that zone of somebody who's actually talking about real street stuff. I don't want to be involved in any of that, and I suggest anybody not to be involved in any of that, you know what I mean? That's why I try my best not to say any type of street, type of stuff or any gang affiliations or the name of the gangs unless they're in a report. Now, if they're in a report, I'm just saying something that the report says. And as we continue through this story, it's going to name several different organizations that I have no issue with and that I'm not familiar with and that, it's named in the report. It's not me. Now, let's continue. HeySoCal.com and My News LA both reported that the shooting victim's name was Zarel Riviera. Some sites gave the rapper's name as Indian Boy Red. Now, I was conflicted on the fact that is his name Indian Red Boy or Indian Boy Red, but I mean, at this point, it seems like they're being used synonymously, you know what I mean? So the story continues by saying the name Zarel Riviera does not come up in the Los Angeles County Coroner's database. However, Heavy.com has reached out to the coroner and Hawthorne Police for confirmation of the victim's name and whether the deceased man was a rapper named Indian Red Boy. The horrific video, which you can watch below, shows a man identified by Hip Hop Lately and others on social media as Indian Red Boy sitting in a car when he is apparently shot. Now, with the report saying that this was horrific, it's almost an understatement, man. It's like somebody's worst fears, because he looks like a relatively young dude, you know what I mean? You would hate for anything like that to happen to anybody young, especially they just sitting down and he's so happy before it takes place. And I'm not going to show that video. I'll never post a video like that or whatever, you know what I mean? But it shows the fact that he's enjoying himself and he's on live talking to one of his friends. And we'll get to that in a second. Now, prior to that, he's happy. He loses his life because you hear multiple gunshots going off. I mean, when I say multiple, I mean like it sounds like they emptied a whole clip. You know what I mean? And I try not to say that with any type of callous or malice in my heart. You know what I mean? It's just what I seen at the time. Now, the story continues by saying these things right here. Okay, now this is probably the worst part of this story, man, and was the part of the video that was probably the worst to ever see. Now, it continues by saying, he then appears to have difficulty speaking and has blood on his face. You can watch the video link below if you want to be aware. It's horrific and disturbing, and we know that, man. Because, I mean, if you look at that video, and I'm not going to post a link in my video at all or anything like that or in the description, it's all over social media, and I say that they got that right, man. It's disturbing. Now, it continues by saying the hip-hop site is reporting that the shooting may have stemmed from disrespect shown to Nipsey Hussle Mural, but this has not been confirmed by authorities. A Reddit thread makes the same unconfirmed claim saying, wild shooting caught on live. The thread claims that a friend of Indian Red Boy is the guy who spray painted over Nipsey Hussle's memorial. People expressed shock after watching the video on Twitter. Man, I don't want to see that Indian Red Boy video again, and hate it came across my timeline. Clearly retaliation for Nipsey Hussle's memorial, but man, that was a lot, wrote one man. Here's what you need to know. The horrific video shows a man being shot as he sits in a car. The man is being notified. Well, people are saying that the man was Indian Red Boy the rapper, right? You can watch the video here on Facebook. We're going to skip over that. In 1 minute, the victim was talking to a friend when multiple gunshots rang out. What his friend says, the victim appears to be trying to speak, but fails. Now, in the video, you can actually point out the fact that he does say Hawthorne. Like his homeboy asked him, where is he at? And he says Hawthorne. Like he's struggling to say it, but he finally gets it out with like one of his last breaths. Horrific. I'm telling y'all, man, this is not for the faint of heart, man. You know, I understand that people watch stuff, but it's not for the faint of heart. You know, I could have went all year without seeing that. You feel me? Now, it continues by saying a television report from KCAL reported that Hawthorne police were at the scene of the shooting. The victim was a male in his 20s who was shot and killed inside the car. The reporter said there were many bullet holes in the car. The story doesn't name him. So basically, everybody is saying this, and if you look at his social media, it's definitely a lot of condolences being made to him, you know what I mean? But at this point, it's like, it's not confirmed, but a lot of people are reporting and saying that was Indian Red Boy, you know what I mean? He was shot in the face and died at the scene, the television reporter said in the report, saying the family was at the scene and a large crowd was gathering. A man in his 20s dead tonight after being shot in the face, KCAL journalist reported. Heavy.com has reached out to Hawthorne police for additional details. City News Service quoted Hawthorne police lieutenant as saying that the victim appears to be a gang member and it appears to be a targeted walk-up shooting. CBS Los Angeles reported that the shooting happened while the man was sitting inside of a car at 4 p.m. in the 14100 block of Chardon Avenue. He was pronounced dead at the scene. On his Instagram page, people offered tributes to Indian Red Boy, but some people made gang references to the Bloods. Rest easy, blood, wrote one. No, not you. Come on, get up. We got too many memories, wrote another. And rest in peace, big bro. If only I got to see y'all one more time, rest up easily. So these are obviously people leaving comments who had a relationship with Indian Red Boy and were shooken up and sad about the fact that he lost his life. Now, it ends by saying the photos of Indian Red Boy's Instagram page show him with guns and flashing gang signs. MTO News reported that Indian Red Boy was upset about another gang member flashing gang signs. So this is wild, man. And like I said, man, I hate to even mention exact street organizations and stuff like that unless it's mentioned in the report. And it obviously was mentioned in this report. But all in all, this is a loss. Now, some of you might be asking why I have pictures of Nipsey Hussle running in the background. I'm not showing any type of allegiance. I'm just referencing, using videos and images from a rapper who fell to the same type of gun violence that's senseless and probably needs to stop, man. Ain't even no probably to it. It needs to stop. Now, with that, what do you guys think? Do you think this Indian Red Boy situation is going to scare a lot of people straight? Because I got to say this, man. I have to say this. A lot of people have gotten the wrong impression about street stuff, about things dealing in the street. Like, that's real, man. Like, no matter what anybody says or pretends to say, like, things are really going on, man. People are really losing their life, and playing with it is not a good idea. Like, I hate to reference this story, but remember the rapper Block Boy, and not Block Boy JB from Memphis. I'm talking about Block Boy from Los Angeles. He was with, I guess he had his own crew called the Takers or whatever, and he was making viral video clips akin to, the other rapper who I try not to name much because, I just try not to name. He was trying to do the same exact thing and ended up getting shot and losing his life. Like, for real, man. Like, and I wanted to foot stomp on that point. Like, a lot of this stuff, you think you could play with it from afar, but it's real life and it's real situations. So please don't attempt to, man. Now with that, hold up. I asked you guys a question and then went on a rant. But what do you guys think about this situation? Is this just the realness coming to light about the dangerous situation involving yourself in the streets and trying to, be on social media? Or is this just another tragedy of street and unwanted, violence in the urban community? Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And this video was hard to make. I'm going to be real with y'all, man. Rest in peace to Indian Red Boy. I don't know him, but this is sad to say the least. Peace.